Yo, I cannot stop getting Sinner songs out of my head, bro.
Soundtrack's good.
The soundtrack is phenomenal. It's crazy. But before we get started, do some housekeeping. Don't forget to follow us on the IG.
They're gonna put up things in there.
Yeah, I always do.
Oh, not the last episode I watched.
I did.
I haven't watched the last one yet.
Oh,
I said the last episode I watched.
doesn't even watch his own product.
I haven't had time to.
Yeah, you're right. But yeah, so don't forget to follow us on the IG. You know, our ads are up here. You know, right now. Don't forget to follow us on TikTok. Don't forget to follow us on our personal YouTube channels. All of those will be linked down in the description box below. You already know. Shit, man. How you been, bro? Yeah?
Muy bueno.
So how do you feel getting wet and all your clothes?
I mean, I had to do it.
Yeah?
It's kind of just impulse because it wasn't even planned at the time.
No.
It was just
So yeah, for background, our pool was flooded.
like overflowing.
Overflowing.
Bad.
And I walked out of the gym, and you know how like the sidewalk is right there. I walked out. Oh, I stepped in puddle, like water. I was like, no way, I'm wearing socks.
You was in just socks?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I can. Ain't nobody at the gym. Ain't nobody goes to our gym besides you and me and this one other dude.
What's his name?
Santos.
Oh, I don't know him.
He's a Hispanic dude.
There's another dude I met there.
But yeah, so I texted Kai. I was like, yo, the pool is overflowing. And he came down, and I was like, yo, you might as well jump in.
I said that.
No, I said that.
No.
I said, you might as well jump in.
I said, I might as well just do it now since I'm here.
You're right. You said that. So,
Dude.
So we did. So it's going to be a separate video on the channel. That way you guys can watch that on your own time. You know, watch it. But Kai ended up jumping into the pool because he lost in his WrestleMania predictions.
And then we also ended up racing, so tap in to see how that goes.
Tap in for sure.
Who do you think won?
We raced in the pool. Yeah, so this video will be out before that. So, you know, comment down below who do you think won. Because I'm curious. I'm curious what people think. You know what I mean? But anyways, yo, I got some Sinners theories to go over with you. I can't stop thinking about this movie.
I actually want to go see it again.
I kind of want to see it again.
You want to go?
I would.
Let's go Wednesday.
Wednesday? Maybe. Anyways,
yeah, there's such a hoe.
All right. So look, I got a couple things here. Let me go in order. So this one was my favorite one. I came up with this on my own, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Remick, who plays the vampire. Oh, spoilers by the way, but you should have already seen the movie.
Remick doesn't play the vampire. Remick is the vampire.
Yeah, Remick is the vampire. So do you remember how he's introduced into the movie? Like the first thing that
when he's coming through, begging to get inside the house.
Yeah, but before that, like the first frame that he.
Oh, when he's jumping.
Yeah. So obviously, it's shown into the movie later on that he can float or levitate, right? So when he's introduced into the movie, all you see is him falling down because he was trying to fly and levitate because obviously it's faster, I imagine, right?
Mm-hmm.
To get away from the Native Americans. So all you see in the frame is him literally just falling down, burning, and then trying to go to that house. This was crazy. Remick falling in his introduction is Lucifer falling from the sky when he was banished from heaven. Let me Yo!
That's actually not bad.
That is amazing.
I like that.
I'm proud of myself for coming up with that.
I like that.
Let me go in order here in the context of the movie. Okay, so I think we already said this, but so I did research. So apparently it's the whites that believe that blues music was said to be of the devil just because it came from blacks.
Yeah, that's
so
what
you
I
said that, yeah. So I should look it up, and yeah, it's true. That's crazy.
That's what I figured. You know, we can't do nothing. Especially back then, we couldn't do nothing. We couldn't even breathe. Like, that's satanic.
Can't catch a break, bro.
It's crazy.
So vampires ended up following Sammy's voice because in the beginning, his dad said evil will follow.
Mm-hmm. Also, I've learned Miles Cannon's voice isn't that deep.
No, it's not. Ever since then, he popped up on my TikTok.
When I seen him on an interview, I seen them all in the UK doing something, and then he talked. I said, okay, that makes more sense.
Yep. Yep. What else do I have? Okay. So when Sammy starts singing, it shows generations of culture and music. You remember that the first time he sings, or not the first time he sings, but when he sings in the juke joint, you see breakdancing, twerking, rock and roll.
Yeah, that scene was so tough.
It was so tough.
Doing the generations of it.
But this is what I figured out. So all of that shows generations of secular things, not of God, which is another reason the vampires followed his voice, because what he was singing was not of God. Because what he was singing is him lying to his dad. That was the title of the song. That's what he started singing. And like I said, generations of, like I said, breakdancing, twerking, rock and roll, all that stuff.
Is this all you?
This is all me. Let me cook.
Okay.
So all that breakdancing.
Okay.
So all those things were things not of God, showing secular things, which is why the vampires followed. Because like I said, his dad said, the music that you make or the music that you sing, evil will follow.
But is it that, or is it just the fact that? Well, obviously, you know, all that stuff wasn't happening there. Right. It was just like a representation.
Yeah, it was a representation.
I think. So you're just saying that it was just the song that he was singing that they followed.
So what I'm saying is that the song that he was singing, the song himself that he was singing was why the vampires were following. Okay. But obviously, we're seeing it through an audience perspective, and we can see all that generations and stuff. So that's one thing. And the last thing I have, which me and my girl came up with this. I was like, yo, me and her are cooking real quick. So if you remember at the end, towards the end, whenever Remick had Sammy in his hands, literally about to kill him, Sammy starts praying, right?
You
remember? And
he says the Lord's Prayer.
Yeah, and then all the other vampires start praying with him. So people are saying that, oh, this shows that prayer doesn't work. This shows that, because obviously if he started praying, the first thing you would imagine is Remick actually dying.
I wouldn't say that, but I would say, I'm gonna let you finish, but I have a retaliation of that.
So what I was saying is that it doesn't show that. It doesn't show that prayer doesn't work. Because here's the thing. The prayer was answered. Not at that time, but because obviously when you pray for something, it's not going to be at your own time. It's going to be the timing of God. Right? So whenever he started praying, obviously nothing happened then. But when he started praying, the vampires started praying, stalling time. And the Lord's answer was smoke coming up, stabbing him. And then and then boom, it stalled time. It stalled enough time.
Okay, that's what I was gonna retaliate. Because I was gonna say, just because the prayer didn't make them like burn up and vanish and whatnot, doesn't mean it didn't work. Because clearly, he still was saved in the end.
Exactly. So he was saved in the end. Smoke stabbed him, and then that's when daylight broke, saving him. So the Lord answered, but at the Lord's time.
But I also have something to say.
Go ahead.
So you know how Smoke never killed Stack.
Yeah.
But all the other vampires died when Remick died.
So they explained it in the movie where I think it was Annie, so the black lady. That's her real name, or her character's real name. She goes by, I can't remember.
It doesn't matter. I know who you're talking
about. She was saying that I remember this.
She said that they're not, but they're
not connected.
She was saying that, but then when, like during the big fight,
whenever he got hurt, the other vampires got hurt.
Yeah, so she was like, they do. She was like, they're all affected by him, or they're all whatever.
Yeah.
So,
but here's the thing: the reason they died is because daylight broke, because the sun appeared, and that's when they all died. But obviously, Smoke and Haley Steinfeld, Stacks, and Haley Steinfeld's character, they didn't die because they were still in the cabin, or they were still in the juke joint. Sorry.
No, but. See, but at the same time, right? I understand Stack was, but remember when they ran out together?
Yeah.
We didn't see Mary after that.
So my thing is, so I have two gripes with the movie, and they're very minor. One was the thing you just brought up, which is, if they feel Remick's pain, then why didn't they die with him when he was obviously affected by the daylight? That's one thing. Second thing, Mary could have died. She had no point in being in the end of the movie. I feel like
she was just there to give the people who want to see them together.
I do not want to see Haley I just want to see Stacks.
I mean, like, I'm glad that they are able to have eternity together, but like, it affects me none.
So here's another thing that I came up with, and I was like, yo. So the moment Preacher Boy Sammy, whenever he returned to the church, and his dad was telling him to put down the guitar, and he didn't, and said he left with the guitar, that was the moment he sold his soul.
Sammy?
Yes, because obviously he did not he did not choose a church. He did not choose God. Instead, he chose the guitar and keep playing blues music. So when he sold his soul, that was the moment he sold his soul. What happened afterwards? What happened 70 years later? He got so popular, he opened up his own blues club because he sold his soul for fame, essentially. And also,
that's a reach.
Also, that's not a reach.
That's a reach.
That's not a reach.
I think that's a reach.
That's not a reach. And also, whenever Stax came and visited him,
it's not Stax, nigga.
It's Stax.
There's no S.
It's Stax.
It's Smoke and Stack because they're the Smokestack twins.
So Stack, whenever he visited Sammy all those years later, that represents the devil checking up on him, because what he says is that you don't have much longer to live. Let me cook.
I don't know, man. I think that part's a little bit of a
I might be reaching, but I don't think so.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's the devil checking up on him. I think it's the devil saying. I mean, but would Stack be the devil at that point? If I guess he probably would inherit that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But I mean, obviously, all this is representation. Obviously, he's not, that or anything. But what other movie did we see?
Thunderbolts.
My God,
that movie's trash.
Not the best movie after Endgame, but it's up there.
That movie's trash.
It's not. What would you rate it? Would you give it?
I don't think I've rated it when we talked about it, but I'll give it like a 4.5.
That's insane.
That movie sucked.
No, it does not. I give it an 8.5.
What was good about it? What was so great about it?
I think their friendship was amazing. I think the mental health meaning behind the movie was great as well.
I mean,
also Sentry, fucking amazing.
Yeah, but they killed Taskmaster in 30 seconds.
I'm glad they killed Taskmaster. She was fucking trash since the beginning.
Spoiler alert too.
I'm glad. Yeah, damn. I'll put a warning, I guess, in the beginning. But damn, they messed up Taskmaster as soon as she was introduced in Black Widow. Because Taskmaster, no, fuck.
I don't know.
And I hope this is Marvel saying, all right, my bad, we messed up. Boom.
I don't know. They're all gonna die anyways.
This is my thing with it. They're not Avengers level.
Well, and now they have 3 new Avengers groups.
They have the group Falcons. That Falcon has, which I imagine Falcon has, like Doctor Strange and all those other guys, like OGs.
The real,
the OGs,
superheroes. Yeah. These niggas aren't heroes. They're just people who can fight.
And people who have killed innocent people. Which, I mean, you could say Black Widow and Hawkeye do the same thing, but that's collateral at that point. They actually went out and killed people.
Yeah.
So there's a run in the comics called the Dark Avengers. Now, if they were the Dark Avengers, I'd be all for it. I'd be like, fuck yeah.
I would.
Fuck yeah.
But I did not like the movie. The post credit scene was really good, leading up to Fantastic Four coming out.
My theory's right, bro.
But I don't care to see any of them in any other movie outside of Ghost or Yelena. I love them. I love them. He's had his time. It's time for him to go.
I'll be honest with you. I thought he was gonna die in this movie. In the trailer, he was going against Sentry, and there's no way he was beating Sentry. And I didn't know how the movie was gonna go. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I thought Sentry was mind wiped, and was gonna kill him then and there. But so like I said, my theory was right, or I think my theory is right. So for all of you guys, it still could be. Oh, obviously, but I'm gonna say it out into the ether right now, just so everybody knows that I said it first. I didn't say it first. Maybe other people came up with it, but I'm saying it. So my theory in Fantastic Four is that Galactus ends up eating their world, or ends up eating their universe. The Fantastic Four ends up having to retreat into another universe, entering the 616 Marvel universe as we know it now. and eventually you can get rid of Galactus right then and there. Obviously, they're not going to beat him, but they're going to escape. Galactus can still show up at some point. Probably not anytime soon, but they can come back to it because let me remind you, we still got Silver Surfer, who is human sized and he can actually see what the Fantastic Four are up to and find out that they escaped to another universe. Galactus can also, in comic book history, he can also shrink down to normal size. Giant ass motherfucker, but he can shrink down into normal size and obviously see what's going on, with his own eyes.
The Fantastic Four trailer, with him walking around on Earth was crazy.
Yo, literally, I said this when I first saw the trailer. Fantastic Four has the most beautiful trailer I've ever seen. It's so colorful. It's so pretty. I love it.
Fantastic Four is gonna be so much better than.
And then the song, Fantastic Four.
You're geeking out now.
I am geeking out. My bad, Gary.
I got a question. I meant to ask you this last time, but you tried to rush me off the thing.
Go ahead.
Okay. Also, last thing I'm gonna say about movies. Sinners. Remember our last episode? I said 8.5.
Yeah.
After doing a little bit of research to learn the history and such, and like deep diving into the movie and watching Coogler's interviews, it's definitely a 10.
It's a 10 out of 10.
100% 10. I wanted to give it a 10 before, but
God.
I couldn't. But it 1,000,000% is. But anyways, that's the last thing I'm saying. All right, question that I wanted to ask last week, but you rushed me off the pod.
Well, we got time.
I'm sure you've seen this. This has been the talk of the town for past couple weeks. Do you think 100 men could beat one gorilla?
Oh my, yes.
Why?
I don't see why there's a debate. 100 people over a gorilla. I could see 20 people not defeating a gorilla, maybe 25, maybe 30. But if you are speaking about like maybe 190-pound men, average men, 5'7" or whatever, against one gorilla? Yes.
Mm-mm.
Yes.
With the description you just gave, because I'm picturing just average men, right?
Yeah.
Just 5. I think 5'8" is the average height. 5'8". Let's just
190.
Let's just say 190. 5'8", 190. No.
Bump it up to 210.
Still no.
Because that's me.
Still no.
100 of me's?
No.
Yes.
No.
1,000%.
No.
Obviously, like 42 of us are gonna die.
You think the 43rd person is gonna be able to do something?
He's not gonna do something, but he's gonna. It's all at once. It's not one by one. It's all at once. 100 men surrounding the gorilla. Obviously, not 100 people can latch onto the gorilla. Maybe like a good 20 can pull a hair, or, in a chokehold. You know what I mean? I'll tell you right now. Poke his eyes out. He's done for. Poke his eyes out. He's done. Can't see. I don't understand.
There's no way.
Kick his nuts.
There's no way.
Kick his tiny nuts. Because gorillas have like really tiny nuts.
There's no way, dude.
Kick his nuts. Something.
There's no way that 100 youths is beating a gorilla.
There's no way one gorilla is gonna beat 100 of me. No way.
Yes.
No way.
Because you got to think, the gorilla doesn't have to kill you to win. The gorilla, if he rips one of your arms off, you're out.
Yeah, and like I said,
40, you know how easy it is to do that.
43 of us are gonna die. It's a risk I'm willing to take.
Nah.
What's that Lord Farquaad line? Many of you will die. But that's a risk I'm willing to take.
Dude, no. There's absolutely no way.
I think there is.
And
hey, comment down below, bro.
I seen like a real like a biologist. No, a biologist what has like weighed in on the conversation. And she said that it's definitely possible, but over half of the people would not be okay.
Yeah. Like I said, we're gonna lose a lot of us.
But
we're gonna win.
I just can't see it.
Imagine you can have. So here's my game plan, right? 5 or 6 of us on each arm.
Right? No, that nigga's stronger than 5 or 6 of you.
Not me.
Yes.
5 or 7 of us grabbing his arm, each arm. You know what I mean?
Each arm.
Maybe yeah, because he has 2 arms.
Yeah, no.
And then maybe like one of us on each finger, and like crack the bones. You know what I mean? Like motherfucker has no fingers, no functionality.
You don't.
Let me cook. Let me finish. Maybe like now this is where a lot of us are probably gonna die. 5 of us maybe wrap around his waist because he can and then we're dead. We're dead. Our back is broken. But we can still grab his legs. grab his testicles, twist it. You know what I mean? Maybe like a couple of us on top of his head, squish his eyes out. You know what I mean? Like, let me get you head, boy.
No, dude.
It's over.
That's a terror.
All right, well, let me ask you this. What number would you enter?
100, nigga. What? Are you crazy? Because think about it. I'm coming in at 100, right?
Right.
I'm not stupid. Why would I pick first? Why would I pick anything in the top 20? I'm coming in at 100. If I see number 99 die, I'm out. Or at least I'm gonna tell number 99. I said if 98 dies, let's go. You gotta have somebody live to tell the tale. I'm not doing it. If he can go through 99, because think about it. Let's just say, okay, let's get both scenarios. Let's say there's a 1-by-1 thing.
Right. We're all dying.
He's wiping clean. Easily. But and then even if we all are jumping him, maximum there's like 15 people on him at once.
Yeah, like 15 to 20, I feel like.
And he can outpower 15 average men.
See, my thing is not if all of us are punching him or something.
But I don't think you understand how muscular they are.
I don't think you understand 20 men punching a gorilla.
Average
gouging
man.
His eyes. No, not average man. Me.
Average man.
I'm not an average man. I'm slightly above average.
What, 5.4?
I'm like a 5.6.
Nigga, we're average. Just from a stamp, we're very average. We're in the run of the mill people. Now, if you give me 100 John Jones, I'll take 100 John Jones over a gorilla.
So maybe like 100 Braun Breakers.
No.
Yes.
I don't think Braun Breaker can fight. In real life,
Karrion Kross. 100 Karrion Kross, it's over.
Over John Jones?
Do you not see the motherfucker? Oh, over John Jones. Obviously John Jones. For sure.
You're just giving me people that I said like the peak.
I'm just giving because a lot of our viewers are people that we know and they only understand WWE references.
If you don't know who John Jones is, you're stupid.
Kylie doesn't know who that is.
Let's ask. I'm gonna ask her right now.
But here, let me ask you, since we're talking about average men, let me ask you this. What would you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10?
Sexy wise?
Looks wise? Yeah, looks wise. Like if a girl like walks by and be like, "Oh, he's a," you know what I mean? And then let's rate each other.
That's gay.
No.
I would say me. Let me get a post or pre-cut.
Right now.
Oh, right now, nigga, I look raggedy.
All right. Well, on your best day,
Best day, I'm a 9.5. Best day.
All right.
Average day. If me and you are going out somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna try not to look too nice because I don't want people to think we're on a date.
Right. Obviously, yeah.
So
yeah. Like obviously you're wearing like not everyday clothes, but you know something.
Yeah, I would say 8.
8.
8.5.
I give myself a cool little 7.2.
Because you gotta think about it. When you factor in the looks, am I the best looking man? I'm not Michael B. Jordan, baby. But when it comes to a standpoint of who I'm going to be around, like I'm not in Hollywood. I'm not around people that are like a million times sexier than me. Within the area that I'm at, I'm at 8.5, and then you factor in the confidence. When you factor in the confidence, it adds a little bit to it.
Right.
Because I have certain friends that are going to remain nameless, but you know.
All right. So look wise, you would give yourself a what? Because obviously the confidence will boost your rate.
8.5.
8.5. All right. I think me looks wise is definitely a 7.2, and I don't have confidence at all. Anyway, so it's gonna stay at 7.2.
That's the issue. She's probably asleep. You know them niggas don't know how to go to bed at a normal hour.
They don't know how to work.
There we go. What's up, buddy?
Hi.
You're on the pod. You want to say what's up?
Hi.
So me and Oscar having a chat right now, obviously. Do you know who John Jones is?
No.
All right, so this has been a podcast. My name is Oski. This is my boy Sly Kai.
I hung up on her.
Good.
That's crazy, dude.
I'm telling you, I gotta put it in WWE references because the people we know.
How do you not know John Jones? The greatest fighter ever. Don't even think about it. That's not a question.
Shout out to my boy Canelo for winning Saturday's match. Long live Mexico. Yeah.
Oh, he's a boxer.
He's a boxer.
I'm tripping.
Shout out to my Mexican folk, my king folk.
Kai said, "Wow, my bad. I don't know who that is."
Hey man, you better scramble like an egg before you get folded like an omelet.
That's
you know what
crazy though. But even then, I think that's still a bad comparison. I would put Brock in there.
You're right.
Yeah.
I thought he was shadow banned, so that's why I didn't say it. Anyways, I had this crazy question. I asked you last time, but I wanted to save. My bad, bro. So I had this crazy question, and I asked you last time, but I said hold your thoughts until next time we record.
Oh yeah.
So, what kind of car would you be? And I have my own answer for you.
Would I be? I thought you said what would we think for each other.
Yeah, that too. But I want you to think what you would be.
I don't know what I would be. Genuinely, I would say. See, I wasn't thinking anything about me this whole time. I would have been thinking about me. I would say.
Do you want me to go first and let you know what I think you would be?
I have ideas, so yeah, you go ahead. I want to see if you're in my ballpark.
I think you generally be like a cool little 2018 Honda Accord or Civic. You can fight. You can argue about a Civic, but I think you're an Accord.
Civic.
You're an Accord then, and I think we know why.
Why?
Snow bunnies. I had this crazy question that popped into my head. I was like, what kind of car would Makai be? I was like, bro would be a Honda Accord.
What's the correlation?
Dark gray Honda Accord.
No.
Yes.
What's the correlation?
I just said it.
With snow bunnies.
You like them?
Yeah, but what's the correlation with Accords and snow bunnies?
Because that's what they drive.
Yeah.
Either that or a little Nissan Altima.
Don't ever say that again.
Yeah, I won't. You know, I used to have a Nissan Altima.
My friend used to have one. Elliot, we used to have some. Hey, shout out my boy Hoff.
I had my Nissan Altima for like 2 weeks. I sold it. I was like, why is a guy like me driving a Nissan Altima? Well,
Yeah.
we never know.
I wouldn't say that. I would say I was thinking more of the. I was thinking more of like a Camaro.
What car do you think I would be?
Taco truck.
Be real.
When you asked me that question, taco truck is the first thing that came to my mind.
That's not a real car though. I need a car, a vehicle.
You drive taco trucks.
A taco truck is not a vehicle.
It's on wheels, and you drive it on the street.
All right, something that's not food related, Mexican related.
You can't say not Mexican related.
What kind of car is Mexican?
Those I'm thinking those cruisers that began the hydraulics.
I get you. But you wouldn't say that. Well, okay, what car would you say?
No, that's too fancy.
Yeah, that's too out of my league.
Genuinely, 2010 Corolla.
Hey, what color?
Like a dark blue. No, but realistically, anytime I think of I always think of you when I see Corollas now.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say you would be a Corolla. I would say I'm not giving you a year because I don't know when they really change. But I would say like a 2-door pickup truck.
Okay, that's not bad. I was gonna
a two door Ford.
Okay, that's not bad. Yeah, I was gonna say like a not a newer one, but like a like a 2010 little like Tacoma or Tundra.
Mm.
You can
I was
argue
actually
like
gonna say
Tundra.
Tacoma.
Yeah, I can see that. All right, hey, same wavelength, bro. Hey, oh, we need to play that on the pod next time. Wavelength. You know how to play that?
I do. Do you have it?
No.
I bought it for
Oh,
people unknown,
we'll play it on the next pod.
but it's in Minnesota.
Our next pod will be in Minnesota. All right.
Dude, I had it. Hold on, let me get. I got have. Dude, can you please go to Blackpink with me?
I'm not going to Blackpink.
If any of you guys like or know or listen to Blackpink,
Go with him.
July 18th in Chicago or July 26th in New York City. Please, I want to go. I need to go see my girl
Because I'm not going.
because people don't want to hang out with me.
I just don't want to go to see Blackpink. You could say Big Bang. I love Big Bang. Bang bang bang. Hey, I'll mess with K-pop.
Okay, I have this thing written in my notes. I don't really know what it means.
Okay.
I think I'm trying to recall it. Um, hmm. I don't really know, but we're gonna just talk about it. Were you like a first on or a last on bus ride person? Because I would assume you rode the bus
Yeah.
in school.
Like
Were you
like
a
this
first
this
stop?
ain't front seat or back seat. This is like first on
Were
first
you,
stop.
like first stop in the morning, last stop in the afternoon?
Oh, first stop. Oh, I was definitely one of the first stops.
Mhm.
Yeah.
How was your experiences?
I mean, it was cool because it was like a little warm up before getting into class or getting to school. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, yo, I'm in the bus now. Now I gotta go to other stops.
Yeah, but that means your day was also long.
I wouldn't say that. Yeah, I guess so.
For
It
me,
would
it
be.
was. I guess in I lived in the country
Oh,
when
so
I
you had to
rode the
travel
bus.
more.
So when I rode the bus, I didn't ride the bus in high school or middle school because middle school I lived too close, and then high school I had people to drive me. Um, so when I lived in elementary. When I went to elementary school, I was in a different school than when I was in middle school or high school. So my school was in this city right here, a really tiny town, and I lived probably like 15 miles away,
Yeah.
and the bus still went out there to pick us up because a lot of people from the city that I lived in, went to school at that school. So they picked us up at the YMCA,
Okay.
a pretty central location ish.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know, in the city that I lived in. So that was the one stop, um, in my area. So I was picked up early. I think school started at like 7:30. I was picked up at like 6.
Okay.
And
Ooh.
it was rough, and I didn't get home until about 5. I didn't get and it was rough. But let me that was just a portion. Before that, when I was in like real little like kindergarten,
Yeah.
me and my sister rode the bus. We lived in a different town. I moved around a lot as a kid. We lived in a different place. It was still probably about the same distance away, and the bus came and picked us up. And let me tell you this story. I got a few stories to tell you. So one story, I was very hyper as a kid. I still am hyper now, but I was like outrageously hyper
Okay.
as a kid. Um, and my bus driver was a prick. You know how you either have a really fun bus driver or you have a bus driver that doesn't want you to even breathe
Yeah, yeah.
while you're on the bus, right? And she was one of those, of the latter. She was the latter of the two. And um, one day I walked on and she was like, "No, this was iPod era." So she's like, "I don't want no phones. I don't want no iPods. I don't want anything
Right.
on this bus." I'm like, "That's crazy." First of all, like whatever. And I walked on with my MP3 player.
Okay.
MP3 player had my headphones in, a little tiny thing, and I walked on the bus. I didn't even make it past the first step, and this is what she did.
Yo.
handout and everything. I looked at her and I said, I told her it was a little tiny MP3 player. I showed her it and she was like, "You're okay." And I went and sat down. And then throughout the year, she learned, especially it was mostly on the way back that I was excessively hyper, and she made my sister sit with me. And my sister got mad. My sister was 4 years older than me, so at that time, she wants to hang out with her friends and be cool, right? And she had to sit up. She had to sit up front with me. I had to sit up front. They made me sit up front. And then when that didn't work, because I kept whatever, then they put a car seat in the bus just for me, and I had to sit and buckle up in the car seat.
Right.
And I'm like, this is embarrassing. I, I mean, in that age, you don't really know it's embarrassing. But now thinking about it, like, that's embarrassing. Walking on a bus and you got to go buckle up. Nobody on the bus is buckled up but me. And let me tell you one more story. This one's not even like an attitude story, nothing like that. This one is just I fell asleep on the bus.
Yeah.
I was the last stop, right? Dropped off. First stop picked up, last stop dropped off. I fell asleep on the bus. I was sitting in the back, and all I remember when I woke up, the bus driver was going to the bus thing, the bus dock.
No way.
I woke up. I said, I was like, where? And then my backpack was nowhere to be found. It was all the way up front because it slid under the seat.
Oh, I got you.
And I walked up to the bus. I was so scared because she was mean. So I walked up. I said, "Excuse me," and she was like, and then she turned around and brought me back home. But the crazy thing is, my sister was on the bus. She got off without. I'm like, oh my gosh, dude. So I have so many bus stories.
That's crazy.
I have so many bus stories.
I have a couple school stories too, but one of them is crazy. I might have to spill it on the next episode.
I got one more before.
All right, go ahead.
So my elementary school goes from pre-K to the building goes from pre-K to 4th grade, and then the junior senior high schools all together. That's how small of a town it is.
Right.
So 5th grade through 12th grade is all in one building, but obviously sectioned off because they're not gonna have 12th graders be in the same area as 5th graders, right? But it's all in the same building. So after 4th grade, I was in 5th grade, and I was going to the high school. So what my bus did is the way that the bus system works for that school is the bus goes from wherever to the elementary school, and the elementary school is in this town, and then drops everybody off that gets off, and then the bus is like, let's just say I have to get off this bus and go to this bus. I usually did. I just stayed on the same bus.
Mm-hmm.
But you go from this bus, and so you drop off at the elementary school that all the little kids get out, and then you take a bus 2 towns away, because that's where the high school was at, to the high school. So I was on the bus, and middle school, elementary school relationships aren't real relationships, right? And I had me and like all my friends had these girlfriends around the time.
Yeah.
And we thought this was so funny. It was April Fool's Day, and like one of them, we sat up front, and all the girls sat in the back. And it's crazy how like discriminated everything was at that time, like just by gender. Because girls were with girls all the time, boys were with boys. It's crazy. And one of my friends, had texted his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And said we're breaking up.
Okay.
And then all of us, this was the seat. All of us turned around. We were like, and peeked over. We peeked over the seat like this and waited for them to look at it. And then when they seen it, all the girls went right up front. And we all started laughing. And then he texted and said April Fool's Day. And then they all were so mad about that.
Do you remember that Oreo game? Did y'all used to have an Oreo game?
Where you put on your forehead?
No. It's like, it's weird. Hold on. This might be completely not the right game. Let me preface this. But this is what we would do here in South Carolina. or here in Charleston at least. We play rock paper scissors, but for some reason we say Oreo, and then flick up rock paper scissors, right? Whoever lost, the winner has to be like, all right, you have to ask her out.
I think we've done that.
Yeah, I have no idea what it's called, but we said for some reason we said Oreo and played rock paper scissors.
I think that's what we did.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a worldwide thing or we just came up with it in my middle school for some reason.
I feel like,
but we used to do that all the time, dude. Thankfully, I was never one of the victims. I don't remember. I don't.
Hey, you know how brutal it was as a kid when they made you go talk to the chop girl.
Yeah.
That's the embarrassing thing. And then if she were to like one of you guys in the group,
my God, dude.
That's
there was
the
this
worst,
one.
dude.
We're not popular yet.
No,
but
none of these girls.
There was this chop girl, bro, in my arc. She followed me around for the longest. I used to date her friend, and then she liked me while I was dating her friend, and then like obviously me and her broke up, and then but she was still like me and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like she would pass me notes in like 8th grade. And I'm like, yo, we're in 8th grade. Calm down. We're about to be freshmen. Do not send me notes because I'm going to throw it in the trash. And that's exactly what I did. Do not send me no notes, you weirdo. Fuck. And she tried to follow me on like everything, bro. I was like, block.
Dude, it's crazy.
Hate it, bro.
There's this one girl. I'm not gonna say her name, but I really hope she's doing well because I feel so bad. Like even just thinking about this, I haven't thought about this time of my life in such a long time because it was such a bad period.
Right.
Like if you knew, you don't really even know my childhood, but my childhood was wicked, dude.
Yeah.
But this whole like period was just like like such a bad time. Like not me mentally, just in general. And there's this one girl. I really hope she's doing good because we didn't like ever really bully her. Like we never went out of our way to like be like you stink, you smell, whatever, blah blah blah.
Okay.
But we just ignored her.
All right.
Because she was one of the chopped.
Okay.
So we never like included her in anything, and we never like nobody ever wanted to do nothing with her because of that.
Yeah.
And it's like that's such a like why do kids do that?
What? Not want to talk to a chop girl?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But those are like the nicest people.
They're pretty down to earth. Like
if I go up to a group of girls and 2 of them are really bad and one's ugly, she's gonna be the nicest one. Or she's gonna. Oh, well, nowadays it's different as you're older, but back then she's the nicest one. Nowadays, she could be the meanest one because a lot of people are coming to hit on her friends.
Okay.
And she just wants to cock block everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna get one of those 2 things.
Right.
But majority of the time, not if they're ugly, if they're fat. If they're fat, they're usually nice.
Okay.
If they're ugly, then it's
I mean, that's your experience.
That's my experience.
But the reason I talked about that chop girl that liked me because I saw her not too long ago. Whenever I went to go see one movie. I can't remember what it was, but I was with my girl and we went to the theaters, and then she was there. And I was like, "Yo, better that's the chop girl that used to like me."
Did you say hi?
No, I was with my girl right now. Either way, I was not saying hi.
Do you say hi to people you see?
No.
Really?
Never.
Why?
I don't like nobody. I'm antisocial.
So let's just say you had a friend from freshman year of high school. You ran into her or him at the store. You're not gonna say what's up?
Yeah, but here's the thing. I was only friends with guys. So when I see my old homeboys, I'm like, "Yo, what's up, gang? What's up, bro? How's it been?" See a little difference?
All right, buddy.
You remember we used to go to Stall High School over that way? You know what I mean? But now I'll dap up my homeboys because I mean that's like I said, like I don't really talk to anybody besides my homeboys. And I was part of the weird group. Let me talk about this for a second.
I bet you were.
Let me talk about this for a second. I was never the type of person to hang out with popular people.
Mm-hmm.
I would always hang out with the people that I would hang out with in 2nd grade. Because me and my 2nd grade homies, we still grew up and went to the same high school. Never split up, stayed together, and we ended up being weirdos, like one of the weirdos. Mm-hmm. And obviously, like I said, I gave myself like a 7.2, but I've been told I'm a 10 out of 10. You know what I mean? But anyways, but my homeboys, they're chopped, you know. No, my homeboys are my homeboys, bro. But you know how like weirdos look? You know, like weird
Yeah.
Mexican weirdos.
Yeah.
So
you did hang out with Mexicans, didn't
yeah,
you?
of course, because my homeboys. I mean, it wasn't just us. It was like we ended up having some other minority groups. You know what I mean?
I grew up in a white place. I didn't have no black friends. There was one other black kid. I hated him because he wanted to be like me so bad.
Yeah.
I didn't like him. But now he's cool now.
But here's the thing: I came to realize like later on in life, or later on like in high school, or like when later on, uh, other people would come to me and be like, "Hey, yo, she likes you, but she doesn't want to talk to you because you hang out with weirdos." I was like, "Yo," but I mean, to me, it wasn't a thing because I'd rather hang out with my homeboys, my day ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then I don't care if I don't care. Like I'd rather hang out with my boys. I'm not leaving my boys.
Ain't it crazy that you switched up like that?
Hmm?
Ain't it crazy you switched up like that?
How?
Nigga, you know how.
My girl's my homeboy now.
Nigga, I'm your homeboy.
You are.
And every time I get pushed to the side like I'm some liver.
God forbid I hang out with my girl.
Nigga, you live with her, nigga. You can hang out with me for a little bit.
I will watch Sinners later this week. Someday.
Wednesday.
Wednesday after church.
Wednesday.
After church.
Wednesday.
All right.
But
All right, gang. So
you never want to hang out with me. I just can't.
all right, man. This has been a
It don't
pod.
mean it don't. It like I would never put a girl over you.
I know who first.
I don't care, nigga. What? Okay, I'll never cheat on you. I don't think she would either. But what if she does? Then who you gonna run to?
Drive my car off a bridge. All right, Ravenel specifically. All right. My name is Oski. This is my boy Sly Kai.
We're done,
Yeah, I gotta go shopping. 45 minutes.
nigga.
On
Let
the
me
dot.
come with. See
My
what
na-
I'm saying? The nigga don't want me to hang out with him ever. Like nigga, to the mall.
My name's Oski. This is
To
my
the
boy Sly
mall.
Kai. Thank you for joining. Thank you. Shout out to our first video that reached 100 views.
Let's go.
Yeah. Hey, much more to come. Baby steps, baby steps. People might look at 100 like it's nothing, but to us, that's everything. So we appreciate every single one of y'all. Even though 100 of those was like, I watched, it was me who was 20 of them.
Really? You watched the whole thing 20 times?
Not 20 times, just in the background. But that's dedication, so we can show it on people's feed. All right.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah.
I never.
I'm going to buy YouTube bots so you can even blow it up even more.
Well, we wouldn't have to if niggas made clips.
Anyways, my name is Oski. This is my boy Sly
Niggas
Kai.
make clips.
Stay tuned. This episode will be dropping obviously on Thursdays. The Kai's punishment Friday. Should we also post a race on Friday?
Might as well just put it together.
Right. So Kai's punishment and our swim race dropping on Friday. So stay tuned.
On the 10th? 9th.
On the 9th. I appreciate all of you. Thank you. My name is Oski. This is my boy Sly Kai. This has been our MO. That's probably my favorite episode. You say that about every episode. Yeah, because we cook.
You do say that.